Our session today, how cloud transforms models, architectures, and usages for business and IT. My name is Charlton Barreto. I'm a technology strategist with the End User Platform Integration Group at Intel. Today I am presenting with Johannes Höch from BTC Logic. Both of us are going to cover the changes, the impacts that cloud has upon the landscape of vendors and of IT and service providers, as well as being able to cover, what this landscape looks like and certain recommendations in terms of approaching it. So today I want to be able to talk about the following things. And before we get into this, I wanted to give you a little bit of a perspective of this. Some time ago, I'd met with an organization and as part of that meeting, a senior person, from a large internet exchange point had decided to quit and start an ASP hosting business. He was building a data center, and venture money was flooding in, and it was definitely one of the 20 stops of that summer. Most of the stops at that summer had been at existing data centers, but at that time, it seemed that there had been quite a bit of activity in the ASP space, and of course, back then things kind of, the landscape changed. So really, the question, as cloud began to emerge, that we began to ask ourselves was: is it different this time? Were we all wrong, about 10 years ago or so? And is this 10 years too long a time for something like this to be real? From my perspective, it isn't different, other than the fact that we have 10 years experience and 10 years of technology development and adoption under our belts. So today, I wanted to talk about three different things. And first of all, I wanted to talk about cloud computing as if it means a world where there's a fantastic homogenization of the way we do computing. I fundamentally don't believe that, and if anything, I think the shift is stimulating a proliferation of new experiments in business models, operating models, and technologies. That stimulus, in my opinion, is the best thing that's happened to IT and entrepreneurs in a long time. Second, there's a misconception that somehow cloud is a way to take advantage of commodity computing. By no normal definition, what's happening today looks anything like commoditization. There are so many new technologies up and down the stack in the mainstream of computing that what we're looking at now is a set of parallel disruptions in the model of Clayton Christensen. That, coupled together with the fundamental economies of scale in several parts of the value chain, make up for some very rapid changes. Third, cloud computing and its companion data center virtualization into enterprise or private cloud are causing a rethink in the way that data centers are designed. A much more holistic approach that spans compute, network, storage, power, and physical layout. And these are the three trends that are key to both today's cloud transition and its success and evolution going forward. Afterwards, Johannes is going to continue on with what the landscape looks like with respect to cloud companies, cloud products, and how these can be assembled together so that you can start now utilizing them in building out either your own private clouds or engaging the public cloud. I could give a definition of what Intel or anyone else means when we say cloud, and just like anyone else, Intel has such a definition. Here are a few examples of some of the ontologies, and Intel as well as BTC Logics are fairly similar to these. What's important to realize, though, within these definitions is that putting things together in buckets like this are just good ways to help us communicate with each other. Even more important, it is to look into the real world to be able to see how people, just beyond the big guys, are applying the concept. Whilst the big players have been studied and reported on by the technorati press and analysts, I find more instructive examples on how everyone else is approaching this opportunity. But first, give me 1 second to frame my own ontology, because we need more of them not because we need more of them, but because I see a world where all the permutations across these dimensions can and do exist. This isn't a sparse matrix of options. Almost all of them are viable, and there are probably a few more besides. All of these definitions exist today and will continue to exist for the foreseeable future. This makes for a diversity of cloud types, not just one or two. As you can see, when we look at the web here, this is really targeting, what happen to be the client aspects or the client edges of the cloud. Either in terms of providing virtualized environments of legacy apps into the cloud, or creating new Web 2.0, 3.0, or other types of applications. The SaaS layer and the PaaS layer targets both provisioning as well as targeting of the applications, but not only in terms of specialist clouds, but also in terms of generalist clouds. Clouds that focus on particular verticals or particular functions, while generalist clouds are focused on providing generalized services to multiple users or to multiple types of applications. In terms of PaaS and infrastructure as a service, these provide capabilities for custom integration and self-service. These are what the infrastructure providing these base capabilities, and platform as a service enabling or bringing these capabilities to administrators and developers. And then a tenant model underneath is what covers, of course, what the infrastructure as a service bubbles up or exposes, and the data center operations underneath.